Parkour. Jacob, mate, what are we driving today?
It's a bloody HiLux.
It's a bloody HiLux, Australia's best-selling car. Can you believe it?
I can believe it.
I was talking to you, Jacob. There's no one else here. It's you and a camera.
I was just waiting.
Think about that. Think about that before you speak again. Now, redirecting it back to you, the viewer, pooping on your toilet, think about this. Don't be fooled, because this thing is, in all counts and pretty much every objective, measurable way, worse than its competition. So why is this the best-selling car in Australia, full stop? Well, it's got a trick up its sleeve. So today we're going to answer, one, is it worth 65,000 Australian dollars for this SR5 trim here, which at the moment is the highest spec you can get? And then two, why is it Australia's best-selling car if it kind of sucks in a lot of ways? Well, let's talk about it. As always, let's start with how this thing looks. And actually, it's pretty handsome. I mean, looks are subjective, and I think that this is one of the better looking utes out there. What do you think, Jacob?
I think it looks way better than the last one.
In the last what?
The last HiLux.
The sun has come out. Have you changed the settings on the camera, bro?
Yes.
Now it's hidden away again. So what do you get? Well, you get these bi-LED lights, whatever that means, but they are very bright and I do like them. They've got a cool daytime running light too. Got a nice grille there, not too big, but it is flanked by this massive amount of chrome, but kind of like it. Toyota badge there. And then down the bottom, you have a meaty scuff plate for extreme off-roading, because of course this is a 4x4, at least this trim is, which is what makes it pretty damn expensive. Oh, fog lights. Always forget those. Now, being the SR5, this gets upgraded 18-inch alloy wheels, and yeah, they're pretty cool. You also get some, I don't know, pretty average tires, to be honest. They're definitely not fit for going off-road very much anyway. I've gotten like stuck a couple of times a day and I'm literally just driving on grass, so yeah, not the best. Oh, HiLux badge there. This has the upgraded 2.8D 4D, which just means that it's got a 2.8 litre turbo diesel. We'll come back to that. Look at that, chromy mirror caps. And they're heated, Jacob. Don't forget that. Enough forgetting. Look at this, you got some side steps down there. You got keyless entry and go. I like that, with more chrome over there. Privacy glass here, which just means that it's factory tinted, which is always the way. And then you've got, ow, sports metal bars. That hurts when you knock them with your hand, especially on a cold day like today. And also, as you can see, this one here has the tub, which I kind of like, but let me show you what I don't really like about it. Actually, before we talk about the tub, let's talk about the back. So you get these pretty cool rear tail lights here. I really like those. HiLux badge, again, SR5, because this is the top spec you can get at the moment. You can't get the Rogue X or whatever it's called. Look, more chrome. You got the Toyota badge spelt out there, all stunning. Look at this. Nice tailgate here. No soft close or anything like that you're getting on the new Ford Ranger, but it's still pretty good. Chrome down here with your little nipples there for... Jacob, I saw that excitement build up in you as soon as I said that. Nipples for the reverse sensors, my friend. Oh. And down here, and then down here, you got your tow ball too. So, what about the tub?
Nice squat, good form.
It's actually pretty good. It's a pretty decent thing. Now, what I don't like about it is that there's no cover to it. Usually you can get like a plastic covering on other manufacturers. I forget what it's called. Tub liner, that's it. This one's all scratched up. It can take a ton of weight, which is pretty good. We got Jacob in the back of there just to kind of prove that, because he's a fat, ugly so-and-so, as they say. You're not gonna fit a pallet in the back of here like you would in an Amarok, but do you really care? Also, you got some tie-down points there too, and it's a pretty decent, usable space. I like it.
I think it's quite nice.
I like the blue too. It's pretty sick.
It's very blue.
Let's move to the interior, boys. Okay, so the interior. What's that like? Well, first of all, I'm gonna get nice and warm in here, Jacob. Oh, beautiful. You know what's helping to keep my butt warm?
Let me guess, the heated seats.
The heated seats. You see, this car has, very loud, this car has the $2,500 optional package, what do they call it? Premium interior package, which gives it, leather seats, which are pretty kind of average, but they're also heated up front. Oh, and don't forget the leather on the doors, and that's actually quite a nice thing to have, because the rest of the interior is all scratchy. Even the steering wheel is plastic. It feels horrible. And a lot of you will be like, well, that's hard wearing, that's durable. Let me tell you, that's cost savings. That's just a nice excuse for auto manufacturers to be like, we'll just keep it kind of cheap on the inside. Sorry to burst your bubbles. That's the negatives. What's the positives? Well, first of all, storage in here is actually pretty good. So let me get my obligatory car review water bottle. Got a couple of cup holders there. I love this. Got a cup holder there. Look, got it there, and then you can hide this top part and you get a little storage area under there. That's all fine and dandy. You get that on each side. You've also got a split glove box. I swear all of these automotive manufacturers, they just copy each other. They all have this, like the split glove box. So yeah, that can fit a water bottle and that can also do something. What else is there to like? Well, I mean, it's a pretty nice design when you don't touch it. And a lot of you are gonna be like, well, you don't ever touch your dash. It's not just about touching the dash. It also helps to soak up road noise because hard materials reflect sound. There you go, physics. Physics, Jacob. Is that right?
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Wouldn't have a clue, mate.
No, he does computer coding. Disgusting. Steering wheel, let's go back to that. You got buttons to control absolutely everything. Again, it just feels horrible. And your cruise control stalk is down here. Thankfully, you do get adaptive cruise control, which I really like. What else do you have? Well, storage area up here for your phone. Let's put away my diabetes tester. Yes, I have diabetes. Get over it. You've also got two 12-volt sockets here. You got a USB-A port there. In here, you've got a 220 volt outlet, but it only outputs 100 watts, which is actually pretty decent. If you've got your laptop or something, it'll work off that. It's got a special inverter, at least on this SR5 model anyway. Up ahead of you is your analog instrument cluster, and you can cycle through a bunch of different menus, and it's fine. I actually don't mind it too much, but if you get the new Ranger, you will get full digital displays there. So this thing really does have some very stiff competition. Speaking of, the infotainment display is average at best, pretty awful at worst. It's quite slow to respond and not that intuitive to use. Thankfully, most of the time you're going to be using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You don't look too happy, Jacob. Looks like it's raining outside. Let me tell you, my bum is nice and warm in these beautiful leather seats, so I like that.
I'm very happy for you.
And then not only is that not the best, even though you got your physical buttons on the outside, so that's okay, I suppose, but it's also connected to one of the worst sound systems I think I've ever heard in a car. I mean, it's really disappointing, especially for a top of the range at the moment anyway, because of supply issues, you can't get the Rogue X, so this is all you can get at the best. And that's not that great. Frankly, I'm kind of disappointed with the interior. Oh, I will say though, as part of the SR5, you get your eco and your power modes. You don't get that in other levels of variants of the car. And this one has the 6-speed automatic transmission, which is actually pretty good, as we'll get back to when we go driving. Let's talk about the back seats. Okay, so back seats. What's it like for your little tiddlywinks or your workmates? Well, it's actually pretty good. So yes, you get the leather seats back here as part of that $2,500 premium interior package. You've got a pretty good amount of tow room. You've got really good amounts of knee room there too, and also headroom is pretty damn good. Oh, what else is there to like? Well, oh yeah, the leather extends to the door sills here, but this is all hard and scratchy, not really out of the ordinary for a dual cab ute. You've also got a couple of air vents back here, but there's no like USB-A ports or 12-volt sockets, so your kids aren't necessarily gonna be the happiest. Got a little coat hanger there though, that's pretty good. Matte pockets there, and look at this. Got your center armrest with a couple of cup holders there too. Bit of a shame though that these seats, they don't move forward, so they don't have any storage behind them, and they don't lift up either, which you can do in a lot of other of its competitors. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, for 65 grand, bit disappointed. Like I would expect at least a leather steering wheel. Come on, plastic. Jacob, plastic is in your Lancer, right?
And it felt like home.
Yeah. Like home. Okay, so the interior is pretty damn disappointing. So what about the engine? Well, I mean, it's a decent story. So it's a turbo 4-cylinder diesel. That's a pretty standard size in terms of dual cab utes, except the new Ranger is coming with an all new 6-cylinder with a turbo on it. That's gonna put out way more power and torque than this. But this still has 150 kilowatt of power, 500 newton meters of torque. And this is kind of where its special trick comes into play, because at the end of the day, it's a Toyota. It's reliable. It's going to start up every single time. And frankly, that can't be said of Rangers. I'm not saying that this is immune to reliability issues, but it's definitely going to be better. It's a bloody Toyota. And that's why this thing is so damn popular, because it has a Toyota drivetrain in it. It's going to start up every single time. And if you're using this car for work, which most people do, it's a tradies car at the end of the day. That's why people buy it. That's why it's the #1 most popular car. But how does it perform when you're actually giving it a lot of sauce, Jacob? How do you think it's gonna perform?
Quite saucy.
No one cares. Let's roll the tape. You know what question no one has ever asked me?
What?
What does the Hilux do 0 to 100? So today we're gonna answer that question.
What do you think, friend?
I reckon it's gonna do it 10.4 seconds.
Ooh, that is quite slow. Are we talking power mode or?
Oh, we are
Sticky
talking power mode.
Okay, I'm gonna guess 9.8 to 100.
You think it's gonna be less than 10?
I think so.
All right, well, yes, we're gonna put the car into power mode. We're gonna put the transmission into S, which it already was, apparently.
Let's turn the aircon off.
Oof, yeah, we want all the help we can get. We'll keep traction on for hopefully obvious reasons.
Shall we?
I'm scared. Are
I'm
you
not.
scared?
No, not at all.
You're never scared.
Usually I am, actually.
Fist me.
Oh.
I feel like that was half decent.
Oh.
Oh! Well, that is a crap. 0 to 100 in 10.95 seconds. One more time.
I think we can do better than that, my friend. All right,
Fist me.
let's try this again for the second time.
Fist me. Okay, ready?
All right, here we go.
Bit of traction loss.
Ah!
0 to 100 in 10.29 seconds. I don't want to say that I'm the most correct person in the world, friend, but I think I'm the most correct person in the world.
I think you've done pretty well on this occasion.
All right, friend, let's do some extreme off-roading with these less than extreme off-roading tires.
I'm scared.
Oh, we're on a gravel road right now.
That was pretty extreme, bro.
Yeet!
We're okay. We're okay. We're okay.
This is two-wheel drive.
Are you serious? I thought this was a 4x4.
Yeah, but we're in two-wheel drive, bro.
Oh!
That means we're rear-wheel drive. Let's get back on the gravel road.
Oh. Jeez.
Okay, so what's the suspension like?
Not bad.
After I've just destroyed it. No, I haven't. Look, it's actually pretty good for a ute. It's a ute, right? I mean, it's got leaf spring suspension in the back. That goes back to like the 1920s. It's one of the oldest suspension types out there. But it means it can hold a ton of payload. So you could sit back there, or at least 1.1 of you, Jacob, you fatty bombada.
Are you calling me 1 ton?
I'm calling you 1 ton, you whale.
I'm offended by that, guys.
Now, what do you get when you get an SR5 Plus, Jacob?
You get a whole lot of car.
No, sorry.
It's an SR5,
SR5.
by the way.
What is a Plus? Right? Well, let me tell you what the Plus is. You get drive modes. Eco, which the button gets stuck sometimes in this one, or Power.
Ooh.
We can put the car into S, the transmission, I should say, the beautiful 6-speed torque converter. Let's give it some sauce. Gentle, because I don't want to lose it.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, it's trying.
100. Well, you can let out your deep sigh now, friend. So, what's it like to drive? It's pretty decent.
Can't complain, right?
It's a dual cab ute.
It is a workhorse.
I will say, like, I'm surprised by how much grunt the engine has for a diesel. There's a Ranger there.
Make sure you pixelate that.
Yeah, I will. I will, and I'm going to pixelate the crap out of it. Look, it's not the most exciting thing to drive. The hydraulic suspension, lol, I wish. The hydraulic steering is okay. This one needs a bit of a wheel alignment. I'm holding the steering wheel at about 10-degree angle right now. Not sure I love that.
Your right arm's going to get a bit more of a workout.
It's not
today.
the car's fault, it's journalists who drive this like me. But if we take this corner with a bit of gusto, don't know what that was, it does okay. It doesn't roll too bad. I will say in 2021, can you take your orange Eclipse? Who even buys orange Clips?
They're pretty good, man, all right? Just leave me alone.
Jeez.
Leave me alone.
I'm trying to have like a band in here with all these different instruments. Oh,
It's a good idea, actually.
There's a hill. You know what this means.
What does it mean? Okay, that downshift was quite sluggish.
Oh
God.
Oh, I felt too fast in this car.
Yeah.
Look, for a bit of a torque converted transmission, it does okay. I think that's the moral of the story here. It drives fine. It's got a 2.8 litre turbo diesel that does pretty well.
Look, it's the best-selling car in Australia, so it can't be that bad, right?
Famous last words. Let's see how its crash safety goes. No, let's slow down here because this is not... Okay, all right.
Your bags are going everywhere.
All right. The camera equipment's going everywhere. Lots of beeping, buzzing. Oh, gotta love power mode, bro.
Look, it pulls up the hill pretty well.
It does decently. This is not what this car was designed for and what most tradies are not going to be doing with this, I must say.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
You're right. I think we were discussing the stereotypes of Hilux drivers.
Of course.
Before.
Anyone who's driven in the right lane of a freeway in Australia knows what I'm talking about.
And if you're not behind another car, right on their ass, flashing your lights, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly.
You're not driving a Hilux. You're probably driving a Ranger.
Or a D-Max. You peasant.
Speaking of D-Max, it doesn't drive as nicely as a D-Max. It's definitely got more power than the D-Max. That thing feels a little bit underpowered, but I don't know. Compared to a Ranger as well, it doesn't drive as well as a Ranger. And I say that in a loving way. Most people aren't really going to give a crap, to be honest. And you know what you're going to get over both of those cars? Reliability. Even the D-Max. Oh, bro, we're at Saucy Corner.
That was pretty quick. Fist me.
Fist me. Wait, that's the wrong time to do the fist me. We do the fist me at the launch, bro.
Doesn't matter. We're launching.
Okay, the wheel has turned most of the way. I also don't want to lose the back end because this is rear-wheel drive when it's in two-wheel drive mode, and it's in two-wheel drive mode because you can't drive four-wheel drive outside of four-wheel drive conditions.
Okay, that wasn't
horrible.
Awful.
To be honest, I was expecting worse. And I will say the changes they made in 2021, which I'm still unsure of what those actually are, does make this a lot more comfortable on the road. Before it was, you bounced around a little bit too much.
Such is life.
And it's actually impressive considering that there's no weight in the back at all.
Yes.
The weight is like entirely in the front right now. So it would actually be a little bit better if there was weight in the back because then you're actually making use of those leaf spring suspension.
Hit like if we should get Matt in the back next time and I'll drive.
Hit like if you want to just remove Matt from the channel completely.
We're going to rename it to actually...
Cars.
Just cars.
Just cars. Might be taken already. And with that, let's get into our final thoughts. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on the Toyota HiLux? And what is the truth about this? Well, as you heard, it's reliability. That's why this thing is the #1 seller. One, it's a work car. So a lot of those sales figures are companies buying this as part of their fleet. They're definitely not going to be going all for the SR5. I mean, it's a pretty decent trim. Would I buy one? Probably not, because for 65 grand or 66 grand, you could buy a brand new Isuzu D-Max, for example, and you're gonna still have a very reliable engine. The 4JJ3 is a fantastic engine. I've reviewed that, by the way, so click on that after you watch this video. And you just get a much nicer interior, better driving experience. This is probably a little bit more reliable, but I don't know, not for me. What about you, Jacob?
It's a bit too much for me, mate.
It's a bit too much for us, buddy boys. But what do you think of the Toyota HiLux? Am I full of as a lot of you will put down in the comment section below? Let me know just below that like button or dislike button, which you can't see anymore. Haha, subscribe. I'm not that bad, man. I'm not that unlikable.
I think I dislike every single
yeah, you dislike them all. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'd love to have you around. You can see my honest reviews of cars. It's pretty damn honest.